Hey guys, it's Justin, aka Justinormous. For those of you who haven't watched my channel, I'm a drone pilot and recent van lifer, and I'm traveling across the country to find awesome spots to fly at. Right now I'm in Salem, Massachusetts. Yes, that Salem. And I'm just hanging out here for October, doing more flying over the water. I don't know why. It's like I'm a glutton for losing drones, I think. Still flying the BOB and still loving it. It's a really good quad, man. You know, for the extra like weight that it has with the TPU prints on the side, it still has plenty of battery life. I think I do like, I don't know, 7 to 8 minute flights with a normal 1300 milliamp hour battery. So I'm getting good flight times with it. I kind of touched on it a little bit in the last video, but I feel like I might as well talk about it a little more. I'm getting a little better at actually flying it. It's not as nimble as a 5-inch, but I think I'm getting used to it finally. One thing that I didn't talk about in my last video is the upgraded DJI system. So up until now, I've been flying the first DJI system, the V1. You know, that was a game changer. I went from analog. I guess I had my GoPro still running. Awesome. I started off on analog, and I lost a quad in the water. And when I went to go and rebuild it, I decided I might as well upgrade to DJI. So I've been flying DJI V1 for the past couple years. And since I don't have any of my quads with me in my van, I decided to buy this new one. And this new one has the new DJI system. It's not V2, but the goggles 2 system, and it's what's the air unit called? It's DJI O3 Air Unit. So it has the O3 Air Unit, and then it has the goggles 2, and then I'm just using a DJI remote because I don't need super long range. I don't need crossfire. Plus, the TBS Tango 2 is always sold out everywhere, and I didn't feel like trying to find one, so I was able to get this off Amazon in 2 days, so that's what I went with. Yeah, it's really cool, man. This new system, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really think it's that much better in the goggles anyway. Maybe it's just, I like the bigger image in the old goggles, but the one thing I do like a lot is the smaller size. So like it fits in my backpack a lot better. So I'm not gonna complain about that. And then the smaller controller is way better. It's just more conducive for van life. It's a lot less space. I mean, that sounds weird to people that maybe don't do van life, but like every single ounce counts in a van, especially one that's as small as mine. I can't have a bunch of extra stuff floating around, so having the smaller gear is a lot better in my opinion. So one thing I did recently was I shattered this GoPro Hero11 screen. I don't even know how I really did it. I think I actually shattered it when I took the XT connector out of the drone and just kind of bashed the screen, and apparently these are super fragile now, so yeah, it shattered like on impact, as you can see there. It wasn't shattered, it was like cracked at first, and then I hit a power line when I was flying, and then this happened. So it's still perfectly usable. I just don't use the screen. I just use my phone to set up the settings. But as a lot of people mentioned when I shared the picture on Facebook, a lot of people mentioned the GoPro Hero Mini. And I got to thinking, like, why didn't I just buy the Hero Mini in the first place? I know I've heard people say that it overheats and stuff. I don't think that's going to be a problem for FPV, just due to airflow and the short period of time that I use it. So I ended up getting let me show you. I ended up getting the Hero Mini, as you can see. I was really excited when they announced this because it's kind of like the Hero Session. It's like the new Hero Session. I have high hopes for the next generation of that thing. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Let me get another shot of it just so I don't regret it when I edit it. Yeah, it's got the heat sinks in the back, and it's basically just a Hero 11 without the screen, which is exactly what I need. So let's give it a first rip and see how it does. All right, so the GoPro Mini 11, what do I think of it? It's a great camera. I know that people have talked about there being hardware issues potentially with this thing. I'm gonna wait and see. I knew that buying it, and I was really hesitant to buy it because of all the reported issues. But one thing I've noticed with the issues that people are reporting is that they're issues that I've seen in other GoPros in the past. So I've had a lot of GoPros now. This gives me an opportunity to brag. So I've had, Hero 7, had the Hero 8, I have the Hero 11, I have a Hero 9 and a Hero 4 in storage. And now I have this Hero 11, or Mini 11 rather. Now, one thing I've noticed with all of these GoPros, one thing that they all have in common is if you use the wrong SD card, they freeze. The footage stops halfway. There's problems with when the file system reaches the end of, I forget what there's like a term for it, but there's a max file size in a file system. When it reaches that point, it has to split the video. And a lot of times when it goes to split the video will fail and it gets stuck at that time. And I've seen a lot of videos of people reporting that they see it stopping and freezing at the same time. It's like 2 minutes and 53 seconds or whatever. And it's like, you're probably not using a fast enough SD card, or the SD card you're using is incompatible, or the file system is incompatible. At least that's my theory. I could be wrong. This Mini 11 could be a piece of garbage, but all the problems I'm seeing are issues that I've seen personally. I've experienced with all the other GoPros as well. And even the 11, I found that I've had to switch the SD card. I was using one SD card that was working perfectly fine with the Hero 9 and the Hero 8, but it doesn't work when I'm shooting, 5.3K? When I'm shooting 5.3K on this thing, it's just not fast enough. So I've had to switch SD cards to get it to work properly on the 11. So I've had the freezing issues with the 11. You might be wondering, like, okay, so you crack the screen, big whoop, right? Why don't you just put TPU over the thing? Well, I could, but I want to be able to adjust my angle, and I want to be able to access the SD card really quickly so I can swap them really quickly in the field. I also want to be able to swap my battery. That I can't do with the Mini because the Mini has a permanent battery, which that's kind of a downside to it. But I like it to be naked because it's not like a naked GoPro, but I like it to be without a TPU covering so I can easily access the GoPro. And I almost never crash this thing. Like, not just this one, but like any of my cinema or my cinematic drones that I have, I almost never crash them. The only reason I cracked this one was because I was flying and I didn't see a power line, and I was using the O3 system for the first time, and I didn't realize that it's harder to see power lines with the O3 system and the goggles 2 that I have. Maybe that's not the case with the goggles V2. But maybe I'm flip-flopping those. But yeah, I didn't see a power line, and I hit the power line and it slapped back and hit the battery and shattered the screen. That was like a freak occurrence. I'm still kind of in the camp that I would rather have a GoPro unprotected so I can easily swap it out, or I can easily take the SD card and the battery if needed in the field. I'm going to put TPU on my freestyle quads. Like, there's no way I'm not going to do that, but I need to be able to change the angle for my cinema quads. So where was I? I'm going to keep using this Mini for a little bit. I'll see if I have issues. If I have issues, I'll switch SD cards. I have a feeling, though, that if I use the SanDisk Extreme Pro, maybe 64 gigs in this thing, I don't know that the capacity necessarily matters. It's all about the speed. So the capacity is probably not an issue. But I'm going to use the fast SD card. If the one I have in here right now is, I want to say it's the SanDisk. I'm not going to pull it out, but it's the SanDisk. I can't talk. It's the SanDisk Extreme that I have in here now, and I have a feeling I'm going to run into issues with that. So I'll keep an eye on that. For now, it's a cool camera. It shoots 10-bit, 5.3K. I was able to stabilize it really easily. Horizontal leveling. I thought it looked really, really good. My grade might not be the greatest because I'm not a colorist, but hey, I try my best. Anyways, I filmed this a second time because I wanted to be brief, and now I just ranted way longer than the first time, so I'm not going to do this again. Alright, so the GoPro Hero Mini 11, have you used it? Have you had success with it? Let me know in the comments. If you guys like this video, subscribe. I'm going to keep making these, and like it if you got any enjoyment out of the video. Really appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.